All right, so my homework is posted. Your homework is gonna include a couple things. The homework is gonna including. So can you find critical numbers? Right? Can you find critical numbers? Sorry. Delete. Can you find critical number? Which is f prime of c is equal to 0, and also or undefined, because it means denominator of f prime of x equal to 0. So you can have two situations on your homework. Yes. Critical numbers. And you will have to find extremas. So find extrema on the intervals within closed interval. Between A and B, right? So you probably have to go through the fourth step. You have to find critical number. Second and third, you have to evaluate critical number. And you have to evaluate endpoints. Don't forget about endpoints because super important. And four, you have to compare and decide. Compare and decide using table. So on today's homework, the second part of homework is rules value theorem. But before we cover rules value theorem, I'm going to review all the theorems. And you'll find me, I do this throughout the year until you have all this theorem memorized. Right? If I would ask Katie or Sim here, if I ask them any theorem, they will tell me what that theorem is. At least I hope so. Mean value theorem. Do you know what that? Yeah. Okay, good. So those are the things that, yeah, we'll cover. So let's just tell you that throughout the year, I will keep on repeat myself over and over again. And you feel like you hear it 1,000 times. But if you don't have it memorized by end of the year, that's 15% your grade. If you understand, you can ask them. They both got a 5. They will tell you that roughly between 10 to 15% of the exam, it does not ask you math. It asks you if you understand the theorem. Yeah. And between 10 to 15%, if you got it correctly, you don't have to understand math to get a 2. You don't even know how to do 1 plus 1. You can think about 1 plus 1 is 3, or 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. Right? Yeah, I know. 1984. Okay, so by doing that, you already have 10-15% of your grade. Just got a 2. So understand all the theorems. So I'm going to review all the theorems. So review. I can't spell. Review all the theorem and definitions. So first, the squeeze theorem. Now, squeeze theorem, you don't know it, it's not end of the world, because the test that ever show up as squeeze theorem only one time out of the last 30 years. And that happened around 5 years ago. No, 3. No, 4. 2. Intermediate value theorem. That's 100% of the time it will show up. So 100% of the time you're gonna see intermediate value theorem. Make sure you go back and review what's intermediate value theorem. Basically, just say if f of a little bit difference is I think f has to be continuous between point A to point B. I just want to give you the right information, so sometimes I don't have it done entirely. 2. It's continuous, and FA does not equal to FB. Now it looks very similar to what we're going to do today, but this one is not. 3rd, and K is any number between FA and FB. So the result is there is at least one number of C that f of C is equal to K.
Oh, I remember this one. Matthew taught me at Theorem.
Good job, Matthew. Bonus point to you.
No, it was at Theorem. I remember this. Tony was at Theorem.
It's a water bottle theory, I called it, because if you take a picture of the water bottle at the beginning of the day, you see that's completely full, and you take a picture underneath, is completely empty. It must go. The water must go through a label. That's just the way it is, because the water is a continuous. It's not ice.
Are we completely done with related rates? Are they going to tie back in the future, or just?
Are we completely done with the related rate? Yes, for now, but we are gonna do another word problem section. It's called optimization. Now, you do have to understand a little bit related rate. It's gonna help you with optimization. A little bit different operation, but very, very similar as far as the idea goes. But related rate, if you understand it, great. The chance of that showing on AP exam is not a lot. It may be one small part on the FRQ, and then one small part on the MCQ. So it's take account about 3 points. So it's not a whole lot. I don't know if that be true, Katie. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That I will assume that way, but I don't know. But they used to have a one whole FRQ questions, the whole questions, like a shadow problem.
Yeah.
It's done in 1991, and that was like 30 years ago. Right. So I don't think they will do a related rate question, like a cone problem, on the actual FRQ. So if you did good, it's more help you prepare for college. AP exam, you can actually do it without it, which is kind of stupid. 3, intermediate value theorem. We learned about the extreme value theorem. It's basically saying f is continuous between A and B, then f has a max or min value. Okay, it has that. Yeah, then. So that's 3. 4, which is we're going to cover today, which is rules value theorem. We're going to cover today. And I'm just going to skip that for now. And we're going to come back and cover it. 5. There's the mean value theorem. Which is we're also going to cover today, but we're going to do homework tomorrow. Because that's 100% of AP exam. Whether it's on competitions for Matthew, or for people who are doing competitions. Mean value theorem. It's not MEME. It's mean value theorem. So it's MVT. MVT is 100% on AP exam. It's 100% on competition questions. It's 100% on every time. That you have to know one thing, then you have to know this. But I'm going to give you some precursor of that. So there was a precursor of, which is you have to understand before you mean value theorem. It will make you understand much easier. Precursor is the average rate of change. Is equal of f of x is equal to f of b minus f of a over b minus a. So if you ever on SAT exam, if you want to understand something, they say average rate of change, just take a two different output divided by the difference of the input, and then you're going to get average rate of change. That's on SAT. Now on SAT, you're going to be, I didn't see that question. Sometimes they ask you slope between 2 points. That's that. Sometimes they ask you, year 2, this company ABC has $10 million of profit. Year 6, they have $20 million profit. What is the average rate of change? Or they can ask you how much money they increase per year. They all ask the same thing, which is average rate of change. Also, you need to understand instantaneous. I think this is how to spell it. Are you sure?
You gotta put the E between the N and the O. Yeah.
I gotta trust wrong brush. There's no white people ever win spelling bee except Indians.
I went spelling bee in middle school.
No, you didn't.
I swear.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
There was like 2 people competing.
You went out of 2?
Gotta pee.
Hey, I still win. A win's a win. You gotta take the W. But you guys don't call it dub. You guys call it dub, right? Why do they call it dub?
It's double U, dub for short.
Oh, dub. Take the dub.
Like
Oh,
loss.
I never thought of it like
When you
that.
take a loss, L. You just take the first letter.
Take the dub. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just win. It's a win. It's a win.
It's an interim.
Okay, so you have to understand instantaneous rate of change. Now you're gonna later on, you're gonna realize mean value theorem basically is instantaneous rate of change is equal to average rate of change, which is that's what Asim just tell you. So we already covered a precursor of that. Okay, but we're not gonna cover it until tomorrow because we don't have time. Today we're gonna talk about definition. I'm so gonna review about some definitions. So definition of derivative. Do you guys know what's definition of derivative? Just review.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I know that one. Remember.
Okay.
Limit of h approaching 0 is f of x plus h minus f of x over h.
There you go. But you have to remember the other side too. It's f prime of x. So f prime of x is equal to that. But you did already pretty good job. Alternative is also another one. So f prime of specific point is limit x approaches c of f of x minus f of c over x minus c. I'm going to keep on writing this stuff down over and over again until you have completely understand it. Because I want that 10 to 15% that at least you got a 2 on AP exam. I did have one person have a 1 last year. It was very disappointing. But he just never showed up to school, so there's nothing I can do. But at least you should have a 2, but understand all the theorems. But don't get a 2, please, get a 5. Otherwise, you might suddenly disappear on face of Earth with no reason. I don't know.
Is that x approaches c?
Limit x approaches c, yes. You also have to understand the big triangle. The big triangle is a big fat thing that I'm going to write down every single time that you have to understand. Is the bottom part is limit x approach to a of f of x equal to limit x approach to a from the right of f of x. This means limits exist. Did we write down last time? Did we write down this last time? Okay.
Yeah, we did.
F of a is defined to limits x approach to a from a value f of x exists. 3 is limit x approach to a from the f of x is equal to f of a. So what does that mean? That means this is continuous. Let's just repeat again. Again, a has to be defined. That means a solid dot. Limit has to exist. So this exists. But you have to have third condition, which is move this upward to make them continuous. Do you remember that? So this is limit exists, the blue line. And the red is f of a is defined. And limit x approach a from the f of x, that's equal to this part. So that way is continuous. Okay, so hopefully that's understandable. The last one is called differentiable. And we're also going to review a couple things. One, there's only thing here. Limit x approach to a from the left of f prime of x equal to limit x approach to a from the right of f prime of x. That means slope from left equal to slope from right. Okay, that means a functional roller coaster. So that means like something like this. Like this. So slope from the left equal to slope from the right. At that point, the slope is completely smooth. You can build a roller coaster on that. Now at here, meanwhile, I'm going to talk about when it's not differentiable. What's a few situations not differentiable? Because it has a lot of that. Okay, cusp, good. We're going to call cusp, is going to call it a short turn. So it's a cusp. So it looks like something like this. Or absolute value of x is looking like this. Somebody's hungry. Don't worry, I do that too. Whose stomach is that? It's Noman's. Do you want food? You do? You're hungry? Two, what would be another example where it's not differentiable?
Like disconnected.
Disconnected, okay. So disconnect could be a few things. Not continuous could be a whole thing. So not continuous. So it has a hole. Vertical asymptote. What else? Hole and vertical asymptote. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's not continuous. Or jump. 3. There's 2 more things that's not differentiable. Give me 2 more situations not differentiable. V and T, 2 words. You're right. Vertical tangent, because the slope there is a straight line, it's undefined, so vertical tangent. One last thing, very, very important. A lot of you guys don't remember, it's called endpoints. Endpoints never differentiable, ever. something that you guys have to address when dealing with a problem. So now we talk about all the precursor. Let's go back to talk about rule theorem. The rule theorem is started with the Michael rules, 1691. I forgot that's the year he born or the year he died. Let me look it up. He first published his theorem at 1691. He hates calculus. He hates Isaac Newton. They don't like each other. He doesn't believe in calculus at first, but later in his life, he's kind of had plot twists. He says, okay, I actually think that calculus is useful now, after he grew old. But at first, he's the biggest critic of Isaac Newton, or Limbus for that matter. Limbus and Isaac Newton are two founders of calculus. Don't forget, they're not just Isaac Newton, there's Limbus, German, I think. So what the Michael rule says. Michael rule of partial phi theorem. It starts with 1691. You don't need to know the date. I just give it to you, and that should tell you what happened after 1691. Because after his death, then some other people coming along to invent a better theorem. So Michael rule says, the first one says f is continuous if f is continuous. Okay, so we're gonna mark this O right here as a red color. So we're gonna address that. How do you memorize rule theorem? Between A and B, must including endpoint because it cannot be an open circle. 2, f is differentiable between A and B. Why is this parenthesis? Because endpoint is not differentiable. Remember, endpoint is not differentiable. Three, f of A equal to f of B. Unlike intermediate value theorem, is FA does not equal to FB. This one's FA does equal to FB. So this is all the condition is required. The result is going to be f prime of C is equal to 0. And this 0 coming from rules, that's a 0 right between these two letters, rules, RO, double hockey stick, is that what you guys call? HE double. Yeah, that's what you guys call it. I don't know. Katie says the worst thing in the Calc 2 class. She just told people to shut up.
You want to know how to take the derivative? That was the worst of it though.
From Katie. Shut the F up? Maybe? No, she didn't say that, did she? She did? Oh, Katie, I'm disappointed in you. Your dad's a teacher, for God's sake. Mr. Cohen. He will be disappointing. Anyway. He doesn't care.
She called me the curry munchy monkey.
Wait, what happened? Okay, so f of A has to equal to FB. How much time I have?
21 minutes.
Oh, I have a lot of time. Yeah, f of A has to equal to FB, and we're gonna just build a continuous function, a very easy continuous function, just like a peak right here. And here is f prime of C is equal to 0. So this is C is equal to 0. Yeah, you can have at least one C. So the result is at least one C where f of C is equal to 0 between A and B, not including endpoints, again, not including endpoint, and that's rule theorem. The rule theorem basically says if it's two lines connected, it's continuous and differentiable, it has to be at least one C. Why is it at least one C? You could have two C's, you could have three C's, you could have four C's. Here, guess what? There's C1 to C2. Here's a horizontal tangent. The slope is equal to 0. But the time that it cannot be, so this rules does not apply. Does not work here. So does not work. Does not work if you have, anyway, have A and B here. If you have a cusp. If you have cusp like this, it doesn't work because f prime of C is undefined. It's not f prime C is equal to 0. So this one does not work. Yes?
If there's two f prime of C equals 0, it's not Rolle's. Rolle's theorem doesn't.
It's still roll. It's still rules. They just say at least one C. At least one C. But you have two C is good. You can have 3C for that matter. You can have 10 C's, it doesn't matter. Depending on how many oscillation of up and down.
If there's none, then it doesn't apply.
If it's none, it has to be F1. At least F1. Because the continuous differentiable FA equal to FB, it at least F1. Got it? Nicholas, are you all right? You understand? Does that make sense? We're going to look at today's homework. One of the homework, you got two worksheets. First one is find critical number, find extremas. The second worksheet is Rolle theorem. They are fairly easy. They are multiple choice. But please don't tell me my gut instinct is A is correct answer. No. You cannot just circle A. I know some people are lazy, just going to write down A. But you got to write down, tell me, what's the reason? Why f of x apply? Why g of x apply? Why h of x apply? Why they don't apply? Why h of x doesn't apply? What g of x doesn't apply? What f of x does not apply? You cannot just tell me, my gut instinct told me the answer is A. No, answer is not A. So can you tell me the reason why this is true? You gotta learn how to think of a reason instead of just write down the answers A or B or C or D or E. Can be any one of them, but you gotta, if you guess, that doesn't count as doing homework. If you want to do homework, you better tell me the reason why that is. So can you tell me the reason why? So two people can. Oh, you have a question. Go ahead.
For y equals h of x, does that not satisfy because it's discontinuous, or does that not is that not one of the conditions for the theorem?
That's a question I gotta ask you. Danny, what do you think?
Each of them have a horizontal tangent, so there has to be f prime 0 or f prime equals 0.
Okay, so that's your logic. That's what you need to write down on your homework. You cannot just tell me what that is. But that's not correct answer. It's not a correct answer. What somebody says, wrong grudge?
It's C because both g h of x has a hole and a horizontal tangent, and g of x has like 3 horizontal tangents.
That will be a reason, but that's not correct. Matthew?
It's C because f of x f of a is not equal to f of b. For h of x, it's not continuous. And g of x f of a equals f of b.
That will be a correct reason. G of x is f of a equal to fb, and f of x is not, f of a does not equal to fb, so therefore that's not fit into that condition. The third one is says it's not continuous between a and b. It has a hole. If the hole is outside the interval, it still apply. It just said not continuous within the interval. So sometimes you can have 1 over x, but if I'm asking between 1 to 5 at 1 over x, it is continuous. Okay, so something like that you had to pay attention to. Yes.
For g of x, would it not satisfy Rolle's theorem because a and b are equal?
You're not looking at A and B are equal. You're looking at f of A and f of B. It does need it because if you look at the theorem, if you go back, the theorem says f of A has to equal to f of B in order to work. Look at this theorem. F of A has to equal to f of B.
Okay.
We're not looking at A and B. We're looking at f of A and f of B, which is the output.
Okay.
Next questions. Pay attention on the question. Why everybody screw up this question? The same reason why everybody screw up on this question on SAT, because they are too blind to read.
Rolle's theorem's on SAT.
No, but the idea of this question is on SAT because people don't read. And you probably know which word I'm talking about. Yeah, and the people usually don't read that because they read what they want to read. Rebuff?
The graphs that don't satisfy Rolle's theorem, it would be 2 and 3 because 2 has the vertical asymptote and 3 has the cut, or it has.
Right. That's actually a perfect reason. That's how you're gonna answer this one. C is the only one. You're gonna learn how to answer this one. It's also very difficult to understand. Question 3, but we're not gonna go to that. But we're gonna go to mean value theorem. So again, do you guys understand the idea of Rolle's value theorem? There was 9 questions on that worksheet, and there was 9 questions on the other worksheet. There's total 2. You had to finish both of them. You had to show me the work. You cannot just ask the answers this way because I think so. No, it does not work like that. You have to be able to convince the person next to you why your answer is correct. I don't believe you.
What if I bring cash? I will slide.
You bring me a lottery ticket, can win me $1 billion, which just happened tonight.
If I bring you a
Anybody's 18 here? Katie, are you 18? Go buy a lottery ticket. $2. Yeah, it's Powerball. It's $1 billion. If you win, you have to share me some because I told you.
I'll give you like
Okay, I can live with that.
$1 billion, 10K to spare.
No, I'll take 10K. You don't understand. I got $20 raise last year, so 10K is 10K is I'll take 10K. Wait, how much is the price of lottery today? Powerball? Can you look it up? It's $1 billion, I think.
Then we look.
Huh? You get buried $300 million. That's still a lot. Yeah. It's for education. What they claim is for education. All right, so the mean value theorem, which is we're gonna cover the mean value theorem. The mean value theorem is basically by another mathematician called Joseph. You don't have to know the name. Joseph. I don't know how to spell Joseph.
Joseph Joseph.
I just kind of rearrange your letter. That's what the Alzheimer will do to you.
JOESCH. I'm just guessing.
Joseph Lagrange.
Okay. Joseph Louis Lagrange.
Joseph Louis Lagrange. This happened he was born in 1736. Remember, that's about 50 years later. He lived pretty long. My God, this guy doesn't die. 1813.
That's like 8 years. 77 years.
It's pretty old. Yeah, so he's a very famous mathematician. He invented this theorem called the mean value theorem. Yeah, I don't want to live that long.
What?
I think 65 is my maximum. Wait, shit. I only have 20 years to go. I only have 20 years to go.
20 years left. 20, 30.
And you know, my funeral picture is gonna be the picture behind my shirt. That's gonna be my funeral picture.
I didn't even think that was you. I thought that was like
Wait,
grandma.
can I see? Yeah. Was there a party?
Not on this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Party in this house.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have party.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have funeral.
No crying.
No crying. Everybody's gonna party. That's how the way to die, man. I don't know why people have to be mad, upset, sad. No, you should have party that day.
Do you like, if people are on the floor rolling and crying because I'm dead, get out.
Seriously,
No, I'm serious.
I don't want to see you. In the last moment, I want to see you like, you know, be upset about what happened. It's actually not spelled. I spelled it wrong. MEAN. Yes.
Maybe like a wild party, like we get like cocaine and hookers and all the band.
For all I care, I'm not alive anymore. You can do anything you want to do.
The cocaine will be made from your actions.
That'd be what you want to do. Well, we got Ron Garage here. He's supposed to be the Wolf of Wall Street. He's gonna arrange my party.
This keeps going. Yeah, me or Bob maybe discuss
Dude,
here.
no. Me and him, we have
idea.
okay. So it's drop shipping business, right? Where we buy dildos and buy.
Okay, I don't need to know. Okay, no.
Okay.
No, rebuff, no, no,
$298.
no. Shh. Rebuff. Hush. All right. So, one, it's a F. F must be continuous. How this class can get sidetracked. F must be differentiable. And he done better. He really did better. He says we don't need a third condition. If those two conditions exist, f prime of c is equal to f of b minus f of a over b minus a, when instantaneous rate of change is equal to average rate of change. There is at least one c where f of c equal to f of b minus f of a over b minus a. And between a and b, but not in a and b. Not including a and b. It cannot be endpoints. So there has to be at least one value that's true. And we're going to show you the most basic thing. Remember that graph we drew the first time? FA equal to FB? I really think Lagrange is not really that creative. At least I don't think. I think he just kind of tilted the paper a little bit, where A and B has different height. So he tilted the paper. And he said, hey, if the continuous differentiable, it has to be something like this. Guess what? The slope between two lines is the average rate of change. So this one is f of b minus f of a over b minus a. This must be a point C here where the slope is equal to that red line. And you got to find that C. It could have more than one C. Remember, it could have more than one C. You can have infinite amount of C actually, but if I have like this, guess what? At this point here, I will have the same as a red line here. You could have a C1, C2. You can have more than one where Ming-Bowie theorem applies. You can have a lot of oscillations, but long as they create the same slope, then that's okay. So usually, I told my student is slope of secant equal to slope of tangent. That's how you remember. Or instantaneous is equal to the average. rate of change. Now we're gonna do that one tomorrow. So for us homework right now, we just had to find critical numbers, and we just had to find extremas and the Rolle's boundary theorem. Tomorrow we're gonna focus on mean boundary theorem, but this is what the main thing you have to focus tomorrow. Yes.
Why do you say this one secant equals slope?
Okay, so this is called a secant line of the graph. So imagine there's a graph. There's a secant between 2 points where tangent is equal to that. I don't really care when I die. I care how I die. Like, I just don't want to die of car crash.
Oh yeah.
And then when you're like hanging alive, like almost dead, I'd rather just have a heart attack and hit me for like 2 minutes. I'm done.
2 minutes? I just don't want it to hurt. You know?
What about like a skydiving
Yeah.
accident?
No, that's so messy. He doesn't want me to die over there.
You can calculate how fast your body is falling if you landed it.
Nah, cause like if you die,
I will just do the experiment just for you,
You
Matthew.
should do
No,
that, and
have
then
you-
whoever
have you
wins
heard,
the
like,
question gets your inheritance. Calculate the rate of change of Mr. body
All right, Sophia.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, that's kind of depressing.
Such a complete deep experiment.
If you like spontaneously just combust.
Yeah, if I would die, I want to be in the black hole. At least like you become like spaghetti.
That'd be really cool.
Spaghettification. It's like, yeah, if you die of spaghettification, I think that's a cool way to die. I'll be the first person to die that way if that happens. Just drop me in the black hole.
And then we would actually
No, just send me on the ship. That's taking me to the black hole. A field trip to black hole. I'll live stream the whole thing.
That's like good. That's good.
I'll be I'm just kidding.
Like you're describing.
Not yet.
it's the same thumbnail.
Like and subscribe to my YouTube.
I'll send you a message on WhatsApp. Like and subscribe.
Got horribly wrong.
I probably get a bit mute from lad. How Mr. Ye die? My final journey to end my life. That's so depressing.